My twin brother betrayed our family over a $2 million inheritance, but karma hit him harder. 3 weeks after my dad's funeral, I finally had the strength to sit down at his desk and start going through his finances. My mom was a mess. She hadn't eaten a full meal since we buried him, and I knew if I didn't step up, no one would. So I logged into my dad's bank account to figure out how much we had to work with for her care, for the house, for everything, and my stomach dropped. The balance read $12. That was it. $12 out of what should have been over $2 million. I refreshed the page 3 times because my brain literally could not process what I was seeing. I scrolled through the transaction history and my hands started shaking. Withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal, all within the last month, all while my dad was dying in hospice, all while I was holding his hand and watching him take his last breaths. I called my twin brother Seymour immediately. He didn't answer. I called again. Nothing. I texted him saying it was an emergency about dad's money and he needed to call me back right now. 20 minutes later, he finally picked up and his voice was way too calm. I told him the account was empty and asked if he knew anything about it. There was this long pause. Then he said, "Yeah, I took it." Just like that. No apology. No explanation. Just, I took it. I couldn't even speak. He kept talking like it was the most normal thing in the world. He said he used it to buy a house in Arizona. Cash. Even over the phone, his words dripped with entitlement. I deserved it because dad never appreciated me. You got all the attention growing up, so this is me evening the score. I took a deep breath, trying to reason with him. What about mom? What about her medical bills? What about the fact that she has nothing now? He said, "That sounds like a you problem." Then he hung up. I sat there in my dead father's office chair and I cried harder than I did at the funeral. Because this wasn't just about money. This was about the fact that I spent the last 8 months of dad's life driving him to chemo, staying overnight at the hospital, cleaning up after him when he couldn't make it to the bathroom in time. And where was Seymour during all of this? Nowhere. He visited twice in 8 months, and both times he complained about how far the drive was. The next few weeks were a blur of panic and anger and trying to figure out what to do. I talked to lawyers who told me it would be nearly impossible to get the money back. Seymour had already spent it. The house was in his name. Even if I sued him, I'd be fighting for years and paying legal fees I couldn't afford. My mom started having to skip medications because we couldn't cover the costs. I had to take out a personal loan just to keep her lights on. That's when karma showed up in the form of a call from my dad's lawyer. He asked me to come into his office because there was something important I needed to see. I drove over thinking it was probably just more paperwork, more depressing reminders of what we lost. But when I sat down, he slid a document across the desk and said, "Your father has prepared for this." I didn't understand at first. But then he explained, "Your dad had created 2 wills. The first one was the standard inheritance split between you and Seymour, but the second one was hidden. It says that if any unauthorized withdrawals happened with the money from the first will, the beneficiaries have the right to pursue full legal recovery." I smiled as I realized what this meant. My dad had created a second will so that if any money was taken unauthorized, it would be returned back to me. And now Seymour was about to lose everything. Seymour got served papers 2 weeks later. He called me screaming, asking how this was possible. I told him exactly what dad's lawyer told me. "Dad knew you'd do this. He just hoped you wouldn't."